For those of you who don't know, it's your boy Vic Slangho. And I just want to talk about this topic because there is a lot of this talk going on in our society today. And, you know, something got to give. If you really, sisters, if you really truly want to help your children, especially your boys, if you really truly want to help the community overall, if you want men to be different, right? Maybe not for you, but maybe for the next generation or the next women that are following up. Pay attention. And this is for the brothers too, right? It's not just for the sisters, but this is for the brothers too. The other day, I was watching the video of many videos floating the internet, thousands, millions perhaps, right? Of sisters constantly complaining about men. Talking about the climate of men today. You hear it all the time throughout the internet. You hear them crying and complaining about the men. Oh, the men are so soft today. Oh, the men are so weak. The men are so sassy. The men are, oh, a lot of these men are, they like other boys. You hear it constantly on the internet. Y'all know what I'm talking about. You hear these sisters constantly complain about men all day long, and how the men have changed, how things are different, how bringing us back the old men, the strong men. You hear it all the time from these sisters. You hear the complaints all the time. And one thing that they fail to realize is that the same men that they are complaining about are the same men that they brought to this world and they are raising on their own. Right? Let me digest that slowly, right? The same men that these women are constantly complaining about today, how they're weak, how they're effeminate, how they're sassy, how they acting like women, they want to be pampered, or whatever complaints they have, those are the same men these women are raising today. They are a byproduct of what you have conditioned, of what you have done. And they love trying to remove themselves from the equation by just trying to blame the men, right? They love removing responsibility from themselves by just saying, well, I'm the one that chose to stay. Why we don't blame the one that left? Why we never talk about their daddies? Why we never, stop it. Stop. I don't know why the daddies are not around. I'm not even trying to get into that, but that is something that we can get into in another video, right? But let's highlight how a lot of sisters have chosen to raise boys, children, on their own. A lot of sisters, instead of them admitting that they cannot do it alone, that they need help in raising them children, especially them boys, what they do is they try to be prideful, they try to be strong, they lie, they put on a mask, they give you all of these things. They got something to prove. They got a chip on their shoulder. So they don't ask for help. They don't even tell anybody that they need help, right? So what happens is they close themselves off. They tell people that they got it, knowing damn well they don't have it. And then later on, they are creating these monsters that we see in society today, right? Yeah, this is real loud. So they're creating, a lot of these sisters are creating these monsters that we see in society today. And I'm not saying this to put the sole blame on them, because brothers are to blame too if they are out here just abandoning their children. Okay? Brothers are to blame too if they are out here just abandoning their children. That is wrong. And at the same time, I don't want to dwell in those conversations, because a lot of times, I don't know why that man left. I don't know what's going on. Some dudes, definitely, they just abandon their children. Some other dudes, the mothers make it impossible for them. Women weaponize children. They use them as pawns to try to get whatever they want. So it's a lot of things that go on into why fathers is not in the household. You could talk about the state, and I'm not making excuses for them. Some dudes is straight low lives and they abandon their children, and that's that. However, we're going to talk about the parent that is there. As a parent that is there, you are still responsible. You can't keep talking about the person that's not there. You are responsible for your children, right? You are responsible. A man, whatever, he could get charged with child support, right? He just have to pay. But whoever's the guardian, you still gonna be liable for them children because you're the person there. So we're gonna stay to the person that's there, right? So like I said, a lot of these sisters do not ask for help. A lot of these sisters probably don't even know how to ask for help. And because they got a lot of pride and they want to act like they got it, the only ones who suffer are the children. Your children are the ones who suffer. When we try to tell these sisters out here, listen, I'm a product. I grew up without my pops. But my mother knew that she could not raise me to be a man. She could admit that. A lot of these sisters are in denial because they want to tell themselves a woman could raise a man, and I could raise him. I could raise him just as good as if he had two dads. They want to be they want to be in denial that they need help. I'm gonna get to your question in a second, Ash. These sisters want to be in denial that they need help and the children suffer. My mother acknowledged that when I was younger. She said, yo, I can't teach you how to be a man. She gave me mannerisms. She taught me to be respectful. She taught me how to cook. She taught me certain survival skills, right? But at the same time, she also acknowledged, like, I can't teach you how to be a man. She always sent me to my father's house. She always tried to get me to develop this relationship with other men, my uncles, grandfathers, and people like that in my life, because she understood that this boy is going to need a man to help guide him how to be a man. She understood that. A lot of these sisters today, they think they can do it on their own. They want to hold on to some anecdotal experiences or some brothers that escaped through the cracks. It's plenty of information. Let me calm down. There's plenty of information out there that suggests that you single mothers don't have it. You don't have it. The children you raise are the most destructive kids in society. Overall, on the average. I don't want to hear about anecdotals. You raise the most detrimental children. Like you look at today, right? You look at a lot of these children today. I call them iPad babies. You look at a lot of these children today, they don't respect their elders, right? They get on get on a train, they bump people, they curse older people out, right? You get on the bus, they on the bus with their feet on the chairs, they don't want to let nobody sit down, they think they own the bus. They talking crazy, they don't have no shame, they smoking and blowing, they smoke in front of elderly people. Like when you go in the hallways, they all up in the hallway and don't you dare tell them excuse me. Don't you dare tell them excuse me, because now they got a problem with you. Don't you dare. Right? They don't respect authority like they mamas. They're defiant. They're argumentative like they mamas. Right? They're not cooperative like they mamas. Like a lot of these boys act just like they mamas. Make sure y'all like the video so it can circulate. Like I'm really trying to raise this awareness, like, because living in denial about this is not going to get us nowhere. And I know a lot of these mothers don't care. They really don't care. Like some of these chicks, literally, they have children just to get whatever benefits they could get out. Right? Like if you don't got a home, like you could go out there and get pregnant and the government will provide you with a home just for that child. If you ain't got no food, they'll give you food stamps. They'll even give you some money assistance. Right? Like I literally have heard women say, like, I kid you not, I literally have women ask me if I wanted to be their sperm donor. Like they was like, you don't even gotta do nothing, you don't even gotta be there, you don't even gotta you don't gotta worry about nothing, I just want the baby. Like, and in my mind, I'm just like, yo, like these sisters have been sold the illusion that they can do it on their own. Like that thing is like it's in style right now. The single mothers, the baby showers with no fathers around. Just them and them homegirls. Just them and the aunties. Like, and then they're wondering why these boys are sassy. They're wondering why these boys are raised without balance. They're imbalanced. They don't have emotional intelligence just like their mamas, right? They're raised unstable children, not just the boys. Even the girls are unstable. They raise unstable boys and girls. There's a stat that say that single fathers raise children, that the numbers of single fathers, right, are almost equal to the results of children who are born in a two-parent household. So single fathers can raise strong children almost to the same rates that two-parent households raise children. And when you look at the results of the children that come from single mother household, they through the floor. 85% of the men in prison come from a single mother household. And again, I really don't care if you take this personal, because you should be taking this personal. If you're a baby mama out here and you don't care and you keep your kids from their fathers, and if the father chose to leave and he don't want to be around his children, it is your responsibility to get some male role models around your boys. It is your responsibility. Get him into some sports, get him into boot camp, get him into somewhere around men. Because that's the only way he's going to be able to work on his manhood and his masculinity. Put your pride to the side. Stop saying you could do it on your own, and get some assistance from other men that you can trust, that you can confide in. Because this is serious. It's a serious matter. It's a serious matter. Like, you see these dudes that they can't control their emotions, right? They're not stoic enough. And there's nothing wrong with tapping into your emotions. But when you let your emotions supersede your intelligence constantly, that's a problem for a man. You got dudes out here killing women because they can't control their emotions. Like, literally shooting women. And I said this in other videos. Let me calm down. I said this in other videos. The attacks from men on women, the domestic attacks, right? Violent attacks from man to woman just continue to increase. The aggression in the sisters that are being raised out here continue to increase. Women are starting to be incarcerated more and more and more for violent crimes. Like the video circulate. That's how other people get to see it. Like the swappy stuff that's going on with the genders, right? The confusion that is happening in our communities is a byproduct of the family structure. A lot of things, let me calm down. A lot of things start from the home. I'll be trying to tell y'all, a lot of things start from the home. And a lot of these mothers do not have the capacity to raise these children. They just don't have the capacity. But when you tell them that, they take it as an attack. Why are you being so defensive? I'll tell you why. Because you know it's true. You know deep down in your soul, you cannot do it alone. You know deep down in your soul, this is the truth. That's why it's burning you up. But instead of you admitting that you need help, and this is a problem that a lot of people have, we don't know how to ask for help. And I get it. Sometimes we feel like we don't have anybody. But we need to learn how to ask for help. Our children are dependent on us, and we are failing them. We are failing our children before they even get out there. Before they even get out into the world, we're failing these children. It's crazy. And then we sit here as they trying to navigate manhood and womanhood and life. We trying to tell them, oh, you can't blame your parents. You can't use that as an excuse. You can't use that as a crutch. You got to go out there. Why? How is it an excuse? When your parents is the ones that are supposed to prepare you for the world. When your parents are the ones that are supposed to instill certain values, certain principles. They're the ones that's supposed to guide you, to try to help you out. So by the time you get to a certain age, you already got like a little head start. They already helped you out enough. That's your foundation, like the brother said. Thank you. And then we sit here and try to tell them, oh, it don't matter what your parents did. It don't matter what your parents put you through. It don't matter what you went through at home. It don't matter. It don't matter. It don't matter. But yet when you talk about slavery 400, 500, 600 years later, we could keep talking about that, right? Even though that happened centuries ago. And I know about epigenetics, but I'm just making an example. How people will continuously talk about Jim Crow, slavery, something that they never went through, even though I know it could get passed down through DNA. But I can't talk about how my parents raised me, how my parents hindered me, how my parents didn't properly educate me, how I had to go figure out what it's like to be a man or a woman out there in the streets, how I have to constantly fall, trip, go through certain things to just figure out what it means to be a man or a woman. Come on, man. A lot of our parents failed us. They did the basic food, clothing, shelter, and some of them didn't struggle to do that. It's a difference between maintaining a child and raising a child. And a lot of these parents think because they're maintaining a child that they're actually doing something. They think they're actually doing something. Like I said, I call these kids the iPad babies. Because a lot of these parents, these mothers, because I'm on the mothers, a lot of these mothers, they don't got time for these kids. Why are you having kids you don't got time for? Why are you having children you don't got time for? All they do is give them the iPad all day. They don't even monitor what they watching on the iPad. They just give them the iPad. Here, shut up. Here. They talk crazy to their sons. They talk crazy to their daughters. And then when these kids grow up, they don't got respect for nobody because they wasn't given respect at home. They didn't teach them proper etiquette at home. So when they out and about, they always cursing. They always talking in a vulgar way. They always repeating what they hear at home. You see these young girls shaking butt at a very young age. Why? Because they see their mothers do that. You see that even boys, you see even little boys doing that. Because they mothers, they don't censor anything. They doing everything, saying whatever. Some boys even see dudes come in and out your house. Like, it's crazy out here, man. It's crazy. And then these boys grow up thinking that it's cool. It's cool to hop in and out of shorty crib and shorty bed. He hearing your back getting broken in the next room door. A lot of these women don't got no respect for their children. And then when these children grow up, they grow up hating you. And because they hate you as a woman, they end up hating other women. Because you are the woman that was supposed to be nurturing to them. You are the woman that was supposed... You the first person of the opposite sex they're supposed to fall in love with. But what happens is, the person they're supposed to fall in love with, they hold contempt towards. They feel disdain for them. Because of how you behaved with them. Because of what you did. You think the children don't pay attention? They pay attention to what you're doing. They see you. They see you. And then you wonder why these dudes grow up with contempt. Yeah, it's crazy. And then you wonder why these kids grow up and these boys grow up and they don't like women. They don't like you. And you are the representation of other women to them. The same thing, girls grow up. You hear girls say it all the time. I don't got no girlfriends. I hate girls. Why? Because oftentimes they had poor relationships with their mothers. Them same girls that grow up to like, they just want to hang out with guys and they don't have a lot of female friends. Oftentimes they had bad relationships with their mother. You are a representation of other women to them. A lot of these parents don't understand the developmental psychology of children. They do not understand a lot of these things. They don't understand. Your father is supposed to be the first man that love you in a non-sexual way for his little girl. You know, your father's supposed to be the first one. The first love of a man that you feel that is in a non-sexual way, that is supposed to be genuine care. Why do you think a lot of these women grow up not knowing what kind of man to look for, what kind of man to pick? Because if they never had that example at home, if they never felt the love of their father, they don't know what that feels like. So any little sweet, nothing that they hear from the opposite sex, they fall for it. Because they never had that. This is how important it is to have male figures. This is how important. Stop telling yourself you could do it on your own. You cannot. Stop trying to be the anomaly. Stop trying to be the exception, the outlier. Stop. These children are hurting. And they grow up hurting. And you know who suffers? The regular, ordinary people. They are the ones who suffer. The regular, ordinary people out there are the ones who suffer. The people who have to, the village, right? The village that these children live in. The people that get assaulted by them. Because these the byproducts. These the byproducts of the kids you made. They out here robbing, killing, stealing, doing a lot of things. And don't try to deflect responsibility from yourself to the man. Because I already said, but if the man is not there, you cannot continue to talk about somebody that's not there. We know that impacts the children, of course. What I'm saying is your responsibility as a woman is, you know what? The man not there, I got to figure out how to get him some male influence. That's what my mother did. And I'm not saying my mother is the token, right? I'm just saying that's what my mother did, because my mother could acknowledge, like, you know what? She used to tell my uncles. I used to go hang out with my uncles. I used to go hang out with, I knew my pops. She used to always, sometimes I didn't even want to go to my father's house. And my mom used to be like, you're going to go over there. My mom used to force me to go to my father's house because she knew how important it was for me to have a male figure in my life. Even though I picked up bits and pieces from other people, I had to go to prison. Why must we wait? I couldn't communicate with my mom. My mom didn't understand me as a man growing up in America, figuring out masculinity, figuring out my manhood. When I tried to talk to her about certain things, she couldn't understand me. She didn't even want to hear what I had to say. She swore she had all the answers, just like some of y'all. Right? It took for me to go to prison to be able to repair, for my mom to be able to see. It took for me to get in a situation for my mom to be like, I need to listen to my son. I need to really try to understand what my son been trying to communicate to me all these years. It took for me to land in the belly of the beast for her to finally start listening to me. That's what y'all waiting for? Y'all waiting for y'all children to get shot? Y'all waiting for y'all children to go to prison? Y'all waiting for y'all children to get jammed up? And some of y'all, even when they get jammed up, they don't get your support. And then you wonder why they go to the streets. Then you wonder why they join gangs. Then you wonder why they go somewhere else to give them the comfort that you don't give them at home. And the foundation. They got a poor foundation. A tree that has a poor foundation cannot stand up straight. Let me tell you this. But I get it. A lot of y'all didn't have the right foundation. A lot of you mothers. A lot of the fathers. But again, like I said, the same man that you're complaining about in society today were raised by 9 times out of 10 a single mother. And then y'all following in the cycle, in the footsteps. And I get it. Accidents happen. Sometimes things just happen. I'm not condemning people. I'm just telling you, if you're one of those mothers, it's going to come a time where you're going to struggle to raise your boys especially. But your children are going to slip out your grasp at some point. Because men, on the average, are the disciplinarians. The disciplinarians. Okay? It was designed that way for a reason. When I got to a certain age, my mom couldn't tell me nothing. I started going through puberty. I started working out. I started getting taller than her. I started getting bigger than her. Man, I remember when my mom tried to beat me at one point. Man, I took the belt from her. I took the belt from her. Some of y'all just be like, oh, well, they must do that. I'm kicking them out the house. Is that the foundation you want to give them? You want to put your children out. Kick your children out the house. What you think is waiting for them out there? They waiting for your children out there. They know where they coming from. They coming from broken homes. They waiting for them. Them gangbangers out there recruiting. Them prison cells, they need your children to go work for 16 cents an hour. They need them to go build license plates and desks for schools and soap and lingerie. They need them. They need them to go build that stuff so the economy can go. They need to fill up these sweatshops that we got here in America. Make sure y'all like the video. Other people need to hear this. They waiting for your children. This is by design. And this gender stuff that we got going on, man, until you realize, we got to realize where this is coming from. We got to realize the foundation of this. It's important, man. So before you get there and start to complain and talk trash about these men, don't forget who raising them. Don't forget who out here telling themselves they could do it on their own. Don't forget. And when you remember, make sure you go talk to your homegirls, man. Make sure you go give them some advice. Because this is just going to be a repeating cycle. The next generation of women coming up is going to be saying the same thing. Complaining about the same thing. So, Yeah, man, it's sad out here. It's sad out here, man. Like you see these kids, man. You see the things that they are doing. These children are hurt, and it's so sad that instead of us giving them the adequate care, instead of the mothers trying to do something, and the coaches, the male coaches that are out there, and we just caught up in the gender thing, just talking about, oh, the guys are this, the women are, they're being raised in broken homes. They're being raised in broken homes. And until we fix that, until our sisters, until our brothers stop abandoning our children, and until our mothers stop weaponizing, and mothers stop weaponizing their children, because maybe the guy didn't want to be with you, but he want to be there for his children, and you want to hurt him, right? Until you stop weaponizing them children and keeping them away from their fathers, and fathers stop abandoning their children, right? Just because you didn't want to have it with her, like, yo, you messed up. You knew what you was doing. The moment she said, I'm keeping it, and you didn't want it, come on, bro. Come on. We gotta take some responsibility. In the same token, sister, why are you having a child with a man that's telling you he don't want to be there? Why are you trying to force this dude to be a pops? And this is why I go so hard on the sisters, because y'all try to wiggle out and blame the man and do all of that when it's your body, your choice. Y'all been saying that for a long time, my body, my choice. But for some reason, when we hold you accountable for your body, your choice, that means it's your responsibility too. That means it's a whole lot of your responsibility too. Don't just scream my body, my choice. And when it comes to your responsibility too, you want to stay quiet, you want to point, you want to deflect, right? When that man might have told you, I'm not ready to be a dad. It took two people to lay down together, unprotected. It took two people to have raw sex. It took two people. But then all of a sudden, when it comes to deciding if we're going to have this child, it only takes one person. That's not fair. Come on. That's not right. It took two people to lay down, but only one person to make the decision, the sole decision to bring life. And then you mad? You trying to force this guy. What if somebody try to force you to have a kid? Remember back in the times where you didn't have a choice, when it wasn't your body, your choice, and men were forcing women to have kids? You remember them times? You remember? Do you remember them times when men had so much control over women's bodies, and you were being forced to have kids against your will? Do you remember? You didn't like that. You didn't like that feeling. You didn't like having children against your will. But here we are today. You forcing men. Look how the tables have turned. That's crazy. All you wanted was the power. It's not even about my body, my choice. You just wanted to be able to have the power, to be able to rule over some realm. But I'm telling you, the children are the ones who are suffering behind your twisted power game. The children are the ones who are suffering behind your twisted power game that you're playing. The children. And I know a lot of y'all don't care about the children. And this is one of the main problems I have with women. Because women are loyal to their emotions. They are loyal to their emotions. What does that mean? That means, you heard the saying, hell has no fury like a woman scorned. When a woman is in her bag, when a woman is in her feelings, when a woman feels some type of way about something, when she hurt, bro, she don't care about nothing. She don't care about her kids. She don't care about family. She don't care about her husband. She don't even care about herself in those moments. When a woman is deep into her emotions and she feeling revengeful and she out there to get blood, she don't care about nobody. So some of these chicks, when they hurt, when they feel some type of way, bro, they don't care about their kids. So you can't even reason with them. You can't even be like, yo, think about your kids. They don't care about their kids in those moments. They don't care about nobody. They can't rationalize. And this is why it's dangerous for men to let the emotion supersede their intelligence, because men kill people behind not being able to control their emotions. A woman, yes, she doesn't have the same physical capabilities of a man. So she tries to hurt you verbally. You know, she try to do things like key your car. She try to do things that will hurt your soul, right? She try to do things that will hurt you emotionally. A man will try to hurt you physically. And sometimes because they get so lost and intoxicated in their anger, they end up killing people. Sometimes they don't even mean to do it. They just lose control. So it's not right, man. It's not right. Because just not too long ago, you didn't have the right over your body. You were being forced to have children. It was the man's duty if he wanted to or not, right? It was the man. It was your body, but his choice. You get what I'm saying? You didn't have no ruling in the matter. And now you're doing the same thing to men. Now you force a man. A man telling you, look, we messed up. Cool. Let's think about this. This doesn't make sense. Like I said, when they get into their emotional feelings, they don't care if it don't make sense. They don't care if they don't know how they're going to feed this child. They don't care how they're going to raise this child. They just be like, oh, well, I don't believe in abortion. I'm going to have it. That is the dumbest thing you, like. Let me relax. I don't want to get too agitated. And again, I'm not here trying to attack nobody. And people still going to feel attacked. People still going to feel some type of way. You know why? Because when your children go out there, and y'all be the first ones to come on the news when your children get gunned down and get clapped out here in the streets because they disrespectful and they don't know how to follow code, or they don't know how to respect people. They don't know how to function in society, right? When things happen to them, you want to be out there crying and talk about he didn't mess with nobody. He was a saint. He was a good kid. He wasn't no good kid. He used to talk crazy to you. He probably done raised his hands at you, did things to you, didn't respect your authority, right? Didn't used to listen to what you used to tell him, but then you go out there lying, talking about he was a good kid. He ain't mess with nobody. You don't know your children. You don't know your children. Stop being in denial. But like I said, man, most of these children out here, man, these iPad babies, iPad babies, they're being raised by single women. I don't care if you take it personal. Take it personal. Yes, you should take it personal. It is personal. It's a problem. You know why? Because then dudes like me got to run into these kids in the street. And I'm not playing with none of y'all kids. I'm telling you right now. And I don't care what you say about me. I'm not playing with none of them kids. I was a young adolescent dude. And I know what I was, I know how I was moving. I didn't really disrespect, mind you, I didn't really disrespect my elders. Now, if you was gangbanging, if you was on the other side, and I was on this side, I don't care about you. You playing the game just like I'm playing the game. But I'm not playing with none of y'all kids. These kids out here shooting people. They thinking they could do things to people. They walking around with a chip on their shoulder, highly sensitive, effeminate, ticking time bombs. I'm not playing with nobody's kid. Protect your kid, man. Teach your kid some mannerisms. Otherwise, the streets gonna teach it to them. I'm not playing with nobody's kid. And I'm not out here looking for trouble. I'm not out here looking to do nothing to nobody's kid. I hope people take heed. I hope it's not too late for some of these kids, but for some of them, it's already too late. For some of them, it's already too late. They're gonna feel the wrath, man. For some of them, it's already too late. They already been out here getting gunned down. They're already in the graves. They're already going to juvenile. They're already going to jail. The foundation was messed up. The foundation was messed up, man. If only people cared about their children, man, and really thought about it. If only people really thought about their children. And like I said, man, we gotta think about our communities, man. Like, how can you just abandon? Like, I don't understand how some people could do that. I asked my pops that, like, did you think about me? Did you wonder how I was doing? Did I eat? Was I safe? Did you think about me? I asked my pops that. He couldn't even answer the question. He couldn't be a man. That's why I couldn't, he rest in peace, but he couldn't be a man. He couldn't even be like, yo, I'm sorry. My bad. But, I got over that. I was able to get over that in prison. I got over that. I was around some strong men that gave me advice, that taught me how to be a man. And I'm not the best, but I'm still learning how to be a man. I'm still learning about masculinity. I'm still learning about manhood. I'm not at this place where I got it all figured out. This is a navigating thing. But I also didn't have the foundation. And a lot of times, sisters because they feel ashamed, right? They feel ashamed. Some sisters will even lie. Like, I can't even believe some of y'all, because y'all be lying. Some of y'all, all of y'all can't have the same story of, he told me he wanted to have the kid, and then when I had the kid, he left. A lot of y'all be lying. A lot of y'all be lying, because you know, if you told people out here, the moment the moment you start telling people, he did tell me early on he didn't want to have the kid and I still had it on my own, people will be looking at you like you stupid. You know that. A lot of these chicks know that. They know the moment they tell people, and again, I'm not saying that some of these guys don't be lying. Some of these guys do be lying. I just don't think the numbers is as high as they make it seem. I know that when a lot of the people do wrong, they feel shame. And part of feeling shame, they start deflecting, right? They start deflecting. But come on, let's be real, because I know some personal stories myself of women that have said, the dude told me he wanted to have a baby. He was going to be there, XYZ. And then when you get the other side of the story, they never wanted to be there. It was an accident. They told them that to get rid of it. They told them they wasn't going to play a role. They told them they wasn't going to be around. They told them from the beginning. And you know what they said? I don't need you. I'm going to do it on my own. I don't need you. I got this. I got me and mines. Come on. And then when push come to shove, they blaming the guy. Like, it's a lot of chicks that do that. Because you know deep down in your heart, if you was to sit out here and tell people, like, I had it against his will and he told me he wasn't ready and he didn't have the money and blah, 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 people will be looking at you like you crazy. They know that. It's crazy, man. And like I said, the only ones that suffer is the children. And this is why you can't fully count on some of these chicks. You can't count on them to be the ones who make things right in our communities. You cannot count on them. You cannot count on them to make things right in our community. That's why I tell the brothers. So we gonna have to be the ones to do things right. We can't reason with some of these chicks. We can't reason with most of these chicks, because when they get in their bag, when they get in their feelings, they don't care about reason. They already don't care about reason to begin with. And especially when they get in their feelings, they don't care about reasoning. So brothers, we gotta be smart with who we get involved with. We got to be smart with who we lay down with. We got to be smart with who we spread our seed. We got to be the ones that be responsible. We got to be the leader. We got to lead, bro. If they don't want to follow, that's cool. Leave them in the dust. There's women out there who will follow. There's women out there who will adhere. But we have to be responsible. We have to be responsible, because they're not going to be responsible over their bodies. And I know they're going to be mad about this, but there's a reason why we had the control over y'all bodies. Look what y'all doing. Look what y'all have been doing since it's been y'all body, y'all choice. Look what y'all have been doing. Don't get triggered by what I'm saying. Just look around you. Look what you have been doing since it has been your body, your choice. Men care more about your bodies than you do. That's crazy. I'm only going to 40 minutes. I know, like, for y'all that don't know me, that just started coming to my channel, I got a habit of, like, talking too much. I'm going crazy on the live. But I'm telling you right now, I'm only going till 40 minutes. I don't want to be here too long. But look what you have been doing with your body since you have been in charge of it. Are you proud? You don't care about your vessel no more. You out here doing whatever, going crazy, no shame. Like OnlyFans, this, porn, that. Like, look what you have been doing. Body count don't matter. Anybody could have it. Like, no commitment. I don't care. Like, I should be able to do whatever I want to do with it. Yo, it's crazy. Look what you have been doing with your body. It's crazy how men care more about women's bodies than women. And y'all be like, y'all just trying to police us. Y'all just trying to, like, no, we know you don't know how to reason. Because look at you. Look what you doing. Look what you doing with your precious pearl. If you doing that with your precious pearl, I know you ain't gonna care about my kids. If you doing that with your precious pearl, I know you ain't gonna care about my kid. But yo, I'm out of here. Appreciate everybody tuning in. Make sure you share this if you feel like I said something beneficial that might be able to benefit people. Make sure you share it, amplify this message. I'm saying this because I care. I got deep care in my community, and I work with young men who are struggling to be men, who are struggling to find their manhood and their masculinity. And that is like one of the saddest things, man. That's like being neutered. You know, when you neuter cats or when you castrate an animal, like having to navigate life on your own without no guidance from a man and trying to figure out how to do it on your own as a young man, like even the women, like that's not cool, man. Like the video circulate, that's not cool. Having to, when you should have had that foundation in your household, and then you got to come out here in the world and try to figure it out. And then all the stuff that's going on in the world, and trying to avoid police, and trying to avoid the hood, and trying to avoid nigglets from harming you and robbing you and doing certain things, just trying to survive the hood. And then you got to figure out what it's like to be feminine, what it's like to be masculine, like. And then now they trying to blur the genders, do all this weird stuff, like it's hard, man. So I do it I come from a place of care. This is really why, like, I get passionate, because I just want our neighborhoods to be better. I just want our neighborhoods to thrive. But yeah, let me know what y'all thoughts are in the comment section, and make sure y'all like, you subscribe, and you share. And you check out my other content. Purchase my book, Who Profits When Black Men Gangbang. You can, if you hit the description and the link. You can also access the documentary that I'm in, which is called We Came to Heal, because our communities need a lot of healing, man. They need a lot of healing. So stay blessed, and y'all be safe out there. Ramadan Mubarak.